Hello everyone, in this video I'm going to be showing you how to import game passes into your game and give in-game benefits to your players for buying game passes. So the first thing we're going to want to do is go and publish the game. We're going to say Game Pass Test. And this is going to be very similar to the video, and it's one of my more recent ones. I think I've just put it up in the last couple of weeks, where I did saving leader stats with data stores. It's the same concept. We use the same things. It's very similar. I just put a card in the top left or in the top right if you want to go see it. But anyway, so after you've published your game, now you want to go make your game passes. So to make those game passes, we're gonna go to Roblox.com. You're just gonna go to your account homepage. Now we're gonna go to create. Now here you're going to be able to see all of your experiences. So go to the game you just made. Mine is Game Pass Test. And we're gonna open it in a new tab. You can do that by holding Control and then clicking on it. It'll open this up in another tab. You can click View on Roblox. Or as another thing, you can click on this menu right here and then click Open a new tab, and that'll work also. Now you might get this error. This experience is unavailable because the starting place is unpublished. Publish the starting place to make it available. To fix this, it's really simple. Go to your game, click Game Settings. Sorry, not Game Settings. Go to the top left, click File, click Publish to Roblox, and it'll say down in the bottom left corner, it'll say Published Game to Roblox. So now if we refresh the page, we're going to be able to play it. But we don't need to do that right now. That's just in preparation for later. Right now what we want to do is make a game pass. So you're going to come to the store tab and we're going to click add pass. Okay, so now from here first we have to make a pass like icon. So the pass icons are 512 pixels by 512 pixels, so I'm just going to use paint because I don't really care how it looks. I'm going to zoom this into 512 pixels. I'm sure there's a better way to do this, but that's okay. Now, we can make anything right now. I don't really care. We're just going to say test pass, and there is a circle that is cut out. Like if you have your 512 by 512 square right here, it will take a circle and only include what is in that circle. So if you want, you can actually make a circle, and then everything outside of the boundaries of the circle will not be included, so that you can just use that as a visual representation. I'm going to say a game pass. There we go. Now we're going to download it. I'm just going to save it as gamepass.png. Give me a second. Okay, I'm going to save it as gamepass.png. And now when we come back over here, we can click Find Your Image, Browse, and it'll be right here. We can just upload this. Now we get to choose a pass name. I'm just going to say Game Pass, or Test Pass. And then we make a description. This is a test pass. And we click Preview, and it'll show us what it'll look like. It hasn't been approved yet, so it won't actually show us what it looks like. It has to be approved for it to work. Now we're going to click Verify Upload. And now, as you can see, we have our test pass right here. So we're going to go over here and click Configure. And now we can choose a number of things to do. We can go and, we can change the name, we can change the image, and we can change the description from here. But what we want to do at this moment is go over to the Sales tab, click Item for Sale, set that to True, and pick what price we want to sell it for. So I'm just going to sell it for 2, because for demonstration purposes. And then now we also want to make sure we have this code up here. So we have www.roblox.com/gamepass/configure, and it'll say ID. equals, and then we're going to get the numbers after that equals sign. We're not going to get the hashtag and the exclamation point, just the numbers, and we're going to copy that so we can use it later, because that's going to be important. So now we're going to write a script that will recognize when a player has the Game Pass. So we're going to go to server script service, and we're going to add a script. I'm going to name it Game Pass handler. That was the wrong script. Game Pass handler. Now we're going to say local marketplace, marketplace service equals game get service marketplace service. Basically what this does is it'll let us connect our game to the marketplace. Now we're going to say game.players.player added connect function player, all that normal stuff. So basically it'll just find when a player joins the game. Now we'll say up here we can define a variable. We can say local ID. You don't have to do this, but sometimes it's just good to. I'm going to say local ID equals, and then we're going to paste in that code from up here, that 137311770. That's different for every single Game Pass. So every single time you make a new Game Pass, it'll be completely different. So you have to make sure to recopy it every single time you make a Game Pass. So we've got our ID here. Now we're going to say print. So we're just going to say player is joining the game. So will announce to our output that someone's joining the game. So we can expect further input after that, or further output after this. Now we're going to say local success error message. We're going to define a pcall. Local pcall equals function player. No, don't put player, sorry. Basically what a pcall does is it just, if there's an error, it will contain the error inside of the pcall. If there's an error without a pcall, it will stop the entire script from working, and we don't want that. We want the players to get their benefits. If we only want one player to error, we don't want all of the players to error, so that's why we put in a pcall. Now we're going to say, first we're going to define a new variable. We're going to say local has pass. We're going to say that's false. And now we're going to say has pass. We're going to redefine it. We'll give it another value because it might not always be false, but we want it to be false by default because it's going to be false by default for everybody. I'm going to say has pass equals marketplace service user owns Game Pass async player.user ID comma ID. So basically it will go into the marketplace, and since this is under our game, it'll check our game for Game Passes. It'll find the user who just joins. It'll find their ID and check their marketplace for if they have that Game Pass, and that's going to be a Boolean value. So it'll set has passed to either true or false. Now we're going to say if success, then print success will player. Yeah, we're going to say success while checking if player has pass. We're going to say else warn error while trying to check if player has pass. Then we're going to show our error message. Now we can say if has pass, then print player has pass. Else print player doesn't have pass. We're going to play. We're going to look at our output. It says we have the pass, which we do, because whenever you make a pass, you have it just by default. So if we come back to our game, use this pass in the Game Pass test, it shows, because we have made the Game Pass, it will show that we have the Game Pass owned. Now if we come back to our script, we have our Game Pass handler. This is the, what if we just make it the incorrect value? That's the pass that I don't have. Now, when we play the game, it will say, player doesn't have pass, which is exactly what we want, but now we want to program in our benefits. Let's make that the correct code. So, let's just say we want the player to have a sword if they've bought the Game Pass. We're going to get sword. So, sword. Here we go. Perfect. Okay. And yes. So we're going to put that into starter pack for now, just to make sure it works. It's always good to test things. Have it work? Yep, that does work. So now we're going to move it from the starter pack to server storage, because we want it to just be stored by the server. So now we're going to say, right under our print player has pass, we're going to change this to has pass. We're going to say, local sword equals game.serverstorage.sword, what's it called? Classic sword clone. It's going to be a clone of the classic sword. Classic. There we go. We're going to say sword.parent equals player.backpack. So now, if we join our game, even though our sword is no longer in the starter pack, we still have it because we have the Game Pass. Now I can show this again. If I change this back to the ID of a pass that I do not own, I can play the game, and we will not have the sword. And you can do a number of things with this. You can give players items. You can give them access to certain areas they didn't have access to before. You can make, you can have, like, things on their screen. You can do whatever you want. You can give the players whatever benefits that you want. But there is one thing that I wanted to note. Here, give me a second to pull it up. This is the official Roblox Studio place. It'll give you a tutorial. It'll show you exactly how to do it. But there's something here. I think it's at the bottom. It's not at the bottom. Again, give me a second to find it. Here it is. If the pass will be used as a randomized reward, remember to review the randomized virtual item policy. Basically, if it's a random chance thing, for example, their example here is the player can buy a water charm for 150 Robux, and it's got like specific chances to get specific tiers of water charm. You have to list the numerical odds before they buy it. And another example they give here, this policy also applies to indirect purchases. For example, if a user uses their Robux to purchase a seed, then later plants the seed in exchange for a randomized virtual reward, you must disclose the odds of their potential award before they plant the seed, not before they buy the seed. That's just something to keep in mind. And then also it says down here, if your experience offers randomized virtual rewards in exchange for completing an action that does not involve the payment of Robux or other in-experience currency, you aren't required to disclose the odds. For example, if a user locates a key that opens a treasure chest, you don't need to state the odds of what items they might receive from the treasure chest. So again, if you're going to do something like that, you have to keep that in mind, or else you can get your game tagged by Roblox, and they'll come take your game down and put a tally on your account. Tallies are not good things. You don't want to have a tally on your account. That's just a short, simple tutorial on how to use game passes in your game. I hope everybody enjoyed this video. Bye.